beat administration with the help of Annie Budge. A 15-point advantage and the Hearts are going up. Oh, hi listeners. Hi. Sorry. We're just having a hearty sing-song here. Appropriate for the Hearts podcast. Way, I'm pun machine.
Yep.
Everybody's glad we decided to record today.
Definitely.
And who are we? I'm Nicole Hay.
I'm Robert Borthwick.
And I'm Fridgie.
Fridgie! Hooray!
Back.
It's a packed episode and a tight deadline, so we're just going to race through and bring you all the action from Cowdenbeath and from Livingston. Hooray! Where is it?
I don't like Livingston. It's not a nice place.
That's where Nicole's from.
Yeah,
I know. I'm aware of that.
I'm fairly into Livingston.
You're fairly out of Livingston.
Well,
you couldn't wait to get out of there, surely.
well, yeah.
Yep. It was not.
It's a beautiful land with not many opportunities for people who want to work in the media.
I never know it's got an underpass system as well. Which we experienced.
It's got a wonderful. Yeah, well, me and Rob managed to escape the madding crowds who were all walking down to Livingston Stadium, but with my intricate knowledge of the underpasses of Elyburn.
The local knowledge of Nicole Hay. Yeah, it was great. We got there a full 3.5 minutes before everyone else.
Yeah, unmolested. Sure. Well, that was Livingston chat. Now we'll talk about Hearts games. Cowdenbeath. Well, what an experience Cowdenbeath was.
Yeah.
What a place.
Yeah, I will not stand for you slagging off Livingston when we're in the very next breath going to talk about Cowdenbeath. Hands down the worst stadium I've ever been to. Robert, discuss.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking grim, to be honest with you. I mean, it's genuinely actually, I think it felt like I was in jail, but without all the sodomy. It was just, it was pretty horrible. I couldn't see it. Like I spent the entire match squinting to see through the fence, and then when I could get to any sight through the fence, I was still 7 miles away from the pitch. So,
if any of you have not had the pleasure of Cowdenbeath, it has been designed almost completely to the detriment of every aspect of watching football. You have
in favour of stock car racing.
In favour of stock car racing, yeah. It's original. I take it wasn't built as a stock car stadium. That just kind of happened to it.
It's always been a multi-purpose stadium.
A multi-purpose leisure facility.
It's like
multi-purpose where it has the purpose for one thing.
It's like, right, we're going to build a stadium for stock cars, but what do we put in the middle? Do we have a football team or that? I don't know, should we just invent one?
I wish they just made it a fucking pitching putt.
How old are Cowdenbeath? I take it that kind of... Was that their...
Oh, they're probably nigh on 100 years old. I mean, they've
so
been
I'm assuming stock car racing didn't come before Cowdenbeath Football Club.
I don't believe Cowdenbeath always played there. I think they fished them out a local park and said, have a stadium.
This seems like the sort of thing that wiser men would research. But yeah, you've got a football pitch surrounded by a tarmac ring, at least
pristine tarmac
ring, at least 15 feet wide.
Yep.
And then you've got an embankment.
Yep.
And then you've got a fence.
Yep.
And then you've got a little bit of terracing.
Yep.
Then you've got another sort of 10-foot wide path.
Yep.
And then you've got the rest of the terracing.
Yeah. That's summed up pretty well, actually. Yeah.
So you and no roof and no atmosphere and no joy
and no happiness whatsoever.
No.
Yeah.
I quite liked it. It was like going to Eastern Europe, to the stadiums in Eastern Europe, without going to Eastern Europe.
So none of the advantages of going to Eastern Europe then.
Yeah, there wasn't even cheap beer.
Yeah, no cheap beer, no raven-haired beauties.
Yeah. Come to think of it, Cowdenbeath isn't that good.
Wait, when you list all of its attributes, there's no positive ones.
I do find it a charming place for some reason, and I just don't know why. I think it is because it's like stepping back in time. It really is an awful place, but I like it for that.
Yeah.
Whereas Livingston, I hate, just categorically. Can't stand the place. Sorry, Nicole. Sorry for...
Well, yeah, Livingston...
I am sorry for anyone from Livingston. And
Livingston is not like stepping back into
well.
time. Livingston is like stepping into an alternative universe where communities never existed, but that's another story. Yeah. Anyway, the actual game, football happened. We made, Robbie Nilsson made several changes for the game against Cowdenbeath, primarily tactical, most interesting of which was rejigging the back line so he could push Callum Patterson a bit further forward. Why do you think he did that, Robert?
Lols.
Why not?
Fuck it, I'm Robbie Nielsen. No, it was to sort of try out a plan. Well, we've got a plan B, so let's call it Plan C. Whereby
C for Callum.
Yeah. Nope. No, it was. Yeah, I think it was to sort of on a boggy pitch, a narrow pitch, to see if we could actually hit a target man and find someone up there. In the first half maybe not so much because he played more as a winger, Patterson, with Keatings as the main man up front. But in the second half, especially when Keatings went off, that seemed to be the ploy, change it up a bit. And obviously it was good to get Mackay and McGee more game time as well.
Yeah, Callum was a big tall beacon at the front. Ozturk was benched for a slight thigh niggle, so Brad Mackay came in for him, and Jordan McGee played very ably at right back. The interesting effect of that was it meant that on the left hand side, Eckersley played a lot further forward than he's been doing recently.
Yeah, he certainly had an inkling of wing back about him. He was getting really, really far forward. Played very, very well. Great touches. And getting balls into the box,
he's
as you
great.
would want from a wing back.
He was a primary outlet in the first half, but I kind of felt it was more to do with how Cowdenbeath played us. I mean, you say it was a very narrow pitch, but he was always in acres of space at that side. He was our easiest to hit outlet. It's interesting. I've said before in this podcast that I don't think because he's not as fast as McCarthy, it sort of stymies us a little bit going forward. What was interesting in this game and in Livingston is that he's not running any faster, but he's thinking faster.
Yeah.
Whereas before he would maybe dither before playing the ball forward. He's playing nice early passes into like the tucked in winger, or maybe getting a good deep cross in. A good deep cross. Do you like that?
I do.
I bet you do.
I think with Eckersley, I don't think he's ever played particularly badly, but you can actually see that he's playing really well now. If you know what I mean. He seems like and match ratings, he's always going to be at least a 6.
Yeah.
But now he's sort of hitting 8s and 9s. I thought he was fantastic against Cowdenbeath. I thought he was really, really good.
Whether it's him or Robbie, we found a way to fit him into the system.
Yeah.
And that's nice.
Yeah.
Still rather have Mackay, but that's me.
Yeah, that is you.
That is me all over.
That's you.
I think most of us would rather have McCarthy, but we're not so bad without him. We can live without him for now.
I still think different left backs suit different games, and we're quite lucky to have two left backs who can play different games.
Yeah, we've got options.
So
we're just generally pretty lucky.
Yep.
Could be worse. We could be Rangers. So that's it. Rangers do have two left backs, but they insist on playing both of them at the same time, which is
interesting.
Interesting,
Yeah,
yes, quite. But Cowdenbeath, Adam Eckersley was instrumental in the first goal. Do you remember how it unfolded, Fridgie?
No, I was taking a piss.
Oh,
I was in a. I was going to say cubicle, but no, it was a portaloo.
Wow, that sounds exactly like I would imagine the toilet facilities at Cowdenbeath to be.
Yeah, they had.
So didn't really get a good view of it then.
No, I heard
probably
it.
not.
Heard the
Only about
noise.
5% less good than what we had.
Too busy literally looking at your own penis.
Well, no, I couldn't see it. It was so fucking dark.
And cold.
Other reasons. Well, you remember what happened, don't you, Robert?
Yeah, I do. Great little bit of play from Payardo in the centre midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Chipped a little cheeky through ball to Eckersley, who rushed
I believe
down.
it's called a dink these days.
A dink. I'm sorry. He dinked it through. Eckersley rushed forward, took it kind of just about inside the box and pulled it back for Keatings. And then a nice wee right-footed finish. Quite an easy goal to score, but on his right foot and bouncing up, he did well to angle it into the bottom corner.
A goal I particularly enjoyed just because at about 3 different stages of the goal it never looked likely to happen. First of all, Payardo was getting fairly tightly marked in midfield. It looked like he'd held on to it too long before he dinked it through 2 players that were basically like standing on Eckersley's lungs. Eckersley somehow squeezed through the shutting elevator doors, ran down the wing, put through a cross, and Keatings, who'd been about 20 yards behind play, somehow materialised.
He just sort of transported himself to a goal scoring position. That's a sign of a good striker, though.
What, teleportation?
Yep.
Great. Certainly an advanced striker.
Yes.
In many ways. But that put us up, and that was more or less it for the first half. Not exactly incident packed, but that was the nice thing about this game. Following on from Alloa, felt very professional, very composed. I don't think Well, Cowdenbeath had a couple of chances towards the end, but I never felt threatened.
No, not really. I mean, the guy Sean Higgins had a shot on goal and stuff like that. You know, Alexander, their finishing was brutal. They had 2 decent chances, but even when it fell to the guy, I was like, nah, you play for Cowdenbeath. There's a reason why.
Let's be fair to Cowdenbeath. They've got a great PA, which was very, very loud at half-time. But to be further fair to them, they did actually press us back at the start of the second half. Kind of similar to Alloa, actually, but slightly different. Cowdenbeath made a tactical change, started to push more down the wings. They managed to push back Eckersley a bit more, stopped us creating. We started to look a bit like, well, we might not actually score again, but again, kind of steady. Did you happen to see the second goal, Bridgie?
I did indeed.
Oh, good.
I was in a good spot for it. Well, you know, comparatively, I was in a half decent spot for it. I was there.
Yeah,
I could see it. I could see it.
You were in the village of Cowdenbeath.
Yeah. I was within a 5 mile circumference of the goal.
Okay.
I was in the stadium.
Would you care to describe the slightly fuzzy dots as they moved around in your peripheral vision?
I can describe them grid by grid because I could see them through the fence. The whole game was like one of those old-fashioned spot the ball competitions that you used to get in the programmes, but it's been played out before your eyes. I remember the ball. I can't remember who played it, who it came from. Payardo.
Yeah.
A double assist from Payardo.
Not really though, because the first
I
one.
believe it's pronounced Palardo.
Wow, the last 30 seconds have just been a parade of wrong.
Michael Pallardo.
Michael Pallardo. Wasn't a dink. It was a cross. It had a lot of power on it. It came off Patterson's head, went about 3 miles into the sky.
Mm-hmm. Conservatively, 3 miles. Yeah.
Yeah. It was probably the only part of the game I could see the ball that wasn't through the fence.
Yeah.
It came down and he chested it absolutely beautifully, controlled it like a master, and then with a thunderbolt, a thunder strike, a thraker, he just about burst the net. The goalie had no chance.
A swivelled volley, Robert. A swivelled volley.
A thunder spank. It was an absolute fucking beauty.
It was the sort of goal that, like, it seems ridiculous to see goals like that in real life anyway, just because they seem slightly video gamey.
Yeah.
But to see them in a place like Central Park, it just feels no. This should not be.
I can only imagine what the locals were thinking when they saw that going.
Which?
No! What is this? They fuck off home in a horse and carriage, but
they can't afford horses. Fuck off home in a carriage pulled by other Beathians.
They've all got Flintstones cars.
Seem to remember a lot of Subarus. They love their cars there.
I'm just imagining the stock car racing will be them like frantically running through a hole in the bottom of their old cars. There's hundreds of cars but no engines. But yeah, God, it was utterly phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think, and it's such a weird thing to happen in the game because Callum Patterson is okay as a striker, but he's really not
a
good.
striker.
No,
he's not, and he says that himself. Yeah.
But like the whole game was like a sort of a festival of, like, I mean, it was exactly the way he played when John McGlynn thought that he was going to be a striker. Like, the ball would get pushed up to him, he would win every single header, but he would win it by flicking it forwards when he was already the furthest forward player.
Yeah.
So, unless Prince Boabin learns how to break the light barrier at any point, it's probably not a great tactic.
Yeah. It's, as Nielsen was saying afterwards, it's a tactic he wanted to try out, and it was kind of a good game to try it out in. And it did work, but it's not the most effective use of one of our brightest talents. He is a right back. He says he's a right back. He knows he's a right back. Nielsen knows he's a right back. I think it was just to see, we're looking at strikers obviously to bring in. If we can bring in a big guy, then will that help as a sort of backup for Osman? So
yeah, Callum, you're a right back, and I know that you know that I know that you're a right back. And I know that you know that I know that you know that I'm a right back.
So I'm starting you up front.
Yeah.
That's what John McGlynn must have said to him, but then he confused himself in the explanation.
And that was the whole team talk gone. Just saw John McGlynn going, I know that you know We know that I know. I had this all down. I had this down on a bit of paper.
What do you mean we're 1-0 down?
So, great. The only other thing to take from that game was that because the gargoyle Dean Brett didn't play, I had no idea who any of the Cowdenbeath players were. I got kind of worried about him. I kind of hope he didn't listen to our last Cowdenbeath episode and take it to heart.
No, he'd
throw himself in front of a horse and carriage.
No, well, I really hope he's not like sitting on a church roof somewhere with water pouring out of his mouth just trying to find himself.
No,
Come home, Dean.
He caught himself in the mirror and then he's still there.
Caught himself in the mirror and turned into stone.
Just like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's the noise that petrifying flesh makes. Probably.
Maybe.
So, yesterday, Saturday, Livingston Day.
Yep.
Christmas got in the way, but who really cares about that when there's Hearts games to talk about?
Yay.
But was Santa good to you, Fridgie?
Santa was pretty decent to me, aye.
Great. Was Santa good to you?
Yeah, aye.
Oh, that's disappointing to hear. I hope he treated you like a dick.
Oh.
So we all decamped to Livingston, thoroughly buoyed by our friendly neighbours Hibernian doing us a great turn. What lovely guys they are.
That goal difference, though.
Oh, man. Like, Rangers. I mean, I don't want to go on and on about Rangers, but they fired McCoy and nothing changed.
What can they do now?
They're actually worse. They're actually worse.
Honestly, like, what are the fans actually going to complain about now in the football inside of it? What are they going to do?
It's remarkable that, like, I mean, you had to assume that only Ali McCoy was the one that was stupid enough to keep playing McCulloch at centre half and Stephen Smith in the left wing and not have any speed, like keep Templeton and Shields on the bench and insist on two up front when you've got no creativity in your midfield, all that great stuff. But no, apparently it was institution-wide. They looked at their personnel and thought, this is how to play.
We're keeping all these guys in exactly the same places because it's going really well.
Did you see Ian Black's wonderful contribution to the game, Fridgie?
No, I didn't catch any of the game, I'm afraid.
What
did he do?
He kicked a man and got an early booking and then had to be substituted after 31 minutes because he was too rage to play at Easter Road.
He was genuinely too angry. So would I be. And then Chris Boyd came on and did exactly the same as what he did against us, just kick folk and be shite. Right?
It was wonderful. It was... I mean, like, the only fly in the ointment is that it was Hibs that were scoring 4 goals.
Yeah.
But
that makes it even funnier, if you ask me.
That must be
Hibs, for fuck's sake.
That must be Hibs' biggest win since the turn of the millennium.
The greatest thing about it is like... Rangers are literally the only team that Hibs can beat. Like, they're a team that Hibs are absolutely designed to be better than. They've got pace in the wings, they've got a little bit of creativity, and they've got a decent amount of overlapping. Like, and that's it. They've got nothing in central midfield, and they play us. They'll struggle to create anything, and it's just hilarious.
Yep.
I love a bit of Hibs confidence going into a derby.
Yeah, they look so pretty when their tails are up. Wow, what an image. What have you done to me, brain?
Good Christ.
So we made our way to the historic Hammondvale Stadium and all settled in. So many Hearts fans.
7,500 of us.
We had 3 times as many stands as the Livingston fans.
That's true, yeah, we did. It was fucking great. It was some turnout, considering that like, on Friday we'd only sold 5,500 and then Saturday somehow 2,000 extra tickets were sold.
It's like everybody sort of realised, oh wait a minute, it's just over there.
I can literally get a train.
Yeah, and get a train they did. And again, interesting, Robbie decided to break out some tactics for this game.
Yep.
How did it differ? Well, I'll tell you, Robert.
I can't quite remember.
Well, we decided to revert basically to plan A. We went back to short passing, to Keating's on his own up front with wingers, and we replaced the wingers with Billy King and Sam Nicholson making his first start in months and months and months. And it was lovely. Wasn't it lovely?
I remember that now, and they played Jason Holt as well.
That's correct.
Dropped Piardo.
That's true.
I remember that all, yeah.
So how did Billy King play?
Billy, I've been saying for a couple of weeks he needed a rest, and he got rested against Cowdenbeath, and he came back in, and for the first half anyway, he was braw.
Are you Robbie Nielsen in disguise? Because I would find that tremendously exciting.
I'll be whoever you want me to be.
Well, we should stop recording there. But before we do that, just describe the crazy 5 minutes that we had in the first half that Billy King was instrumental in.
It was one of those things, like, it must have been 5 minutes long, but it seemed so much quicker than that. It was just a hurricane of hearts, that's what it was. Bit of patter for you there. No, it was...
a jamnado. It's a bit of a reach.
Tartnado.
No.
Jam tartnado. Shark.
You know, the best thing to do is to draw attention to it, you're right. So, yes, Eckersley again was getting a lot of joy down the left. Space, quick thinking, and he was releasing Billy King, who was terrorising the Livingston right back, whose name is...
Fordyce?
Sure.
Yep. Yeah, no, it was doing great. It was Billy King that sort of rushed down the left hand side, took it to the byline, cut it back for James Keatings to miss from about 3 inches out. That was a bit of a dullion.
Yeah, it was a Keatings chance right in the Keatings zone.
Yeah, right where you'd expect a Keatings to be, and Keatings was there.
He didn't score it, Fridgie. Fridgie's taking a back seat here because he wasn't at Livingston. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm like the only Hearts fan that I know that wasn't at the game.
Yeah, Keatings missed a sitter. But then he got a great chance to redeem himself merely, I think, about 3 nanoseconds later.
Yeah, Jason Holt got brought down by Fordyce.
Fordyce,
in the penalty area. And yeah, he seemed confident enough, went and picked the ball up himself, took it off Gary Glenn. I'm sure that was an experience, being face to face with him.
That cautionary tale.
Yeah, put it down on the spot and basically limp Bobbied it straight down the middle, and Dean Jameson, the keeper, saved it quite fucking easily. It was
a 3 a.m. 5-pinter.
That was the penalty equivalent of whiskey dick.
Yeah, he tried to thumb that penalty in, and Jameson just said, "It's all right, happens to everybody,"
and then went to sleep.
Yeah. And then he found another strapping man to score a goal. But it was the same man.
It was the same guy. Yeah, he went and had a coffee, a bite to eat, sobered up, came round and watched the DVD.
And Billy King put on another immaculate cross, and this time Keatings spanked onto it and spanked it into the spank bag.
Yep, he did. No, I think my favourite part of that goal actually was Eckersley's involvement sort of down the left hand side, and he, with a slide tackle, put a perfect through ball for Billy King to then go down and put the ball across for Keatings.
So essentially the first half was basically an immaculate performance. We kept passing, we looked like early season Hearts again.
Yeah.
It went quickly, it went well, we created chances, Livingston didn't threaten one little bit.
Yeah.
We should have gone in about 3-0 up, and we did not.
No, it was 1-0. 1-0.
So Livingston, in a dramatic break from tradition, given that their last coach was John McGlynn, employed some tactics at half-time.
Yes, they brought on Hippolyte.
Yep.
And instant impact, really. I mean, we were kind of getting flooded in the midfield, they were getting through us very easily. Jordan White became a bit more free up front as well because Hippolyte was creating that space. We looked genuinely troubled for most of not maybe the first 20-25 minutes of the second half was a bit of a dodgy, shaky one.
Hippolyte played off of White, just really drew everybody's attention, but he was so fast he could get away with them. He fed the ball out to the wings superbly, they pushed down there, White got space to create chances for himself. But to be fair, it really looked like Hearts came out the second half thinking the game's won, just see it out.
Yeah.
We were so lethargic. It looked like we'd had a massive turkey dinner at half time.
They were all fucked on mulled wine.
Callum Patterson particularly looked like he'd had a flagon of mulled wine. He had a nightmare in the second half.
Callum Patterson genuinely got outpaced by Gary Glenn at one stage, and I just about upped and left, to be honest with you. This must be a horrible dream. Honestly, I still, it's so vivid. I still remember it. He genuinely got outpaced by Gary fucking Glenn.
I remember it. I remember, remarking, when was the last time Gary Glenn ran anywhere? So yeah, but we held on. Just somehow saw it out. Danny Wilson was magnificent in that second half.
Danny Wilson was banging. He was superb. Also, the inclusion of Payardo helped us a wee bit.
That did help us. It did help us to an extent to take back the midfield, and once Payardo came on, that allowed Sam Nicholson to sort of wake up a bit. He had a couple of good sort of runs down the right.
Yeah.
It's great having Nicholson back, because I think he's going to tear Hibs to shreds next week.
Yes.
But yeah, it really looked like we were just conserving energy. I mean, to be fair, we had played 3 games in a week over cold festive period, blah 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 blah. But we saw it out. It was professional. Danny Wilson is a colossus. We got out there with 15 points clear of Rangers.
That's very true. It looked like in the second half, like the Hearts players were kind of just remembering Cowdenbeath, and they were all having some sort of horrible flashback moment. There was bombs going off, like children screaming.
Golan's just falling down. Sorry, I'm still there. And Prince going, no man, we made it.
We're safe now. Yeah, that happened. But
the only other thing I really took from that Livingston game, now, feel free to discuss this, to shoot me down if you like. We are looking for a backup striker for the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Just because of our injury problems and our slight lack of depth there, which Keating's having to go off quite early in this game, relatively early. He got replaced by Gary Oliver.
Yeah.
Kind of shows. Given that he is pretty tall, good in the air, and quite fast, I think Jordan White wouldn't be bad if we're just looking for somebody to back up for the rest of the season. Not sure he could step up next year, but if we're just looking to see it this season, I think he'd be alright. Certainly the only striker in this division out with Hibs on other teams that's impressed. I mean, Malonga is basically the only other player that I thought, yeah, he could maybe do a job out in the Hearts system. Have you seen any other players in this division that you've thought anything of, Fridgie? That you don't consider human beings?
But seriously. Not really, no. I'm struggling to think.
I am quite a big fan of that Gavin Riley at Queen of the South. I think he's a very good young striker. I think he could possibly make a step up as well. Jordan White, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I don't think he'd be terrible for us, but we would have to pay money for him, and I don't really see us doing that. It'll be a loan or a free transfer if we get anyone in.
I mean, the other argument to it is we are so far ahead now.
Yeah.
If we beat Hibs next week, it's going to be very difficult for us to lose this league.
Yeah.
We could probably do it just with the players that we've got.
Possibly, yeah.
A loan might not be a bad shout.
Yeah.
Might not be, but
see us through to the end of the season.
But if the right player's not there, maybe it's not.
Well, that's what
worth it. Yeah.
That's what Nielsen and Levine have been saying. If the right player doesn't make himself available, then it's fine. We can still manage with the guys we've got. But in an ideal world, they would like to get someone in. They've obviously been watching quite a lot of players, so yeah. See what happens, but yep.
Looks pretty positive.
Yep.
Certainly does.
Yeah, that's quite an understatement, to be honest.
Yeah.
15 points.
That's your bag though. Understated.
Sometimes.
Okay, no time for emails this week as we are on a very tight clock because Fridgie's going away for a lovely meal, aren't you, Fridgie?
Yeah, I'm going to meet my parents and my sister.
We didn't ask for your life story.
Screw you, man.
No, I hope you have a lovely time.
Sure.
Yep.
I will.
Good.
So we just have time to sing songs, and it's welcoming back somebody that was sung about before. It's the captain, Danny Wilson. Because he was magnificent.
He was great in both games. Kind of untested against Cowdenbeath a wee bit, but second half against Livy, he was a rock.
Won everything, completed all his passes.
Yep.
Just generally was
great.
A sentinel of fantastitude. Who would care to begin?
Fridgie?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Let's get myself in the zone here. The games come hard and humdrum towns, these towns will drag you down. The games come hard and humdrum towns, these towns will drag you down. Wilson, Wilson, you make it look like nothing. Wilson, Wilson, you make it look like nothing.
God, you've out-fridged yourself.
Yeah.
Fridged myself.
You've taken it to a whole new fridge. You've gone freezer.
You didn't know I could actually sing.
Not sure I know that yet. Robert?
Yeah, time constraints are telling in this one. Oh, you can't shove our Danny off the ball. Oh, you can't shove our Danny off the ball. Oh, you can't shove our Danny, you fucking Hy-Vee fanny. Oh, you can't shove our Danny off the ball.
Oh, tremendous. Oh, we haven't had Hy-Vee fanny mentioned in the song. Oh, that was very good.
That's usually a staple of my songs. That's a hallmark of a Borthwick.
Okay. The Jambos are winning cause Danny's keeping all the other teams out. Keep a clean sheet and feed it to Keats and we'll never be beat. Head the ball out, Danny Wilson, head the ball out. Big man, you are the captain.
Fucking yeah.
Great round of songs.
Well done, man.
Who wins? Hy-Vee Fanny wins.
Ah, yes. Yeah. I win. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
That is the sentiment of the season.
Yep.
Oh, well, that brings us to the end. We said short episode, press for time, blame Friggy for everything always.
Blame Christmas, man.
Blame Friggy.
Blame Friggy.
I'll take the blame, sorry.
But yeah, we'll be back next week. Yeah. With the derby, it's a derby next week. Oh,
I love derbies.
We could be 22 points clear of Hibernian next week.
We could.
So nice to be able to relax before a game.
We have 50 points. We have won 50 points. We're literally halfway through the season. If we continue this, logically, I'm no mathematician, but that adds up to 100 points.
100.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All the points. Yeah. We have all the points.
Wait, score predictions?
5-1.
I think 22 in a row.
Cliche.
22 goals in a row.
22
nil.
I'm going to say 2-1 or 3-2. 2-1 or 3-2.
Coward.
Oh, well, to Hearts.
Coward.
Okay.
If you want to tell Robert how much of a coward he is,
yeah,
you could tweet us, couldn't you?
Yes, you can tweet us at We Have No Cares.
And could they tweet you directly? Could they give you that abuse?
I welcome the personal abuse. I actually revel in atmospheres when I'm getting abused. Just like Ian Black. No, it's at RF Borthwick for myself. Nichols is at Nickel Hay. I'm not even going to let him tell you that.
No, but I will retweet all your abuse to Robert. So at me, bro.
I'm Friggy at Friggytown. And I'll tweet pictures of Robert so that if you see him in the street, you can abuse him directly.
Thanks, man.
No worries.
That'd be great.
What a partnership we've got going on here. You can email us, wehavenocares@gmail.com. You can check out our Tumblr, which has lists of every previous episode and every single way that you can listen to it.
All the episodes.
Be that YouTube, be that iTunes, be that RSS. Any way that this can be listened to, you can find it at wehavenocares.tumblr.com.
Yep.
Hope you all had a great Christmas. Hope you all have a tremendous New Year. And join us for Hearts versus Hibernian.
Hibs. Steve Crawford.
Steve Crawford.
Hey, baby. Amadou, that's a run, it's a done!